Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Cheryl. Thank you very much for joining me. If you're new here, hello, welcome. And if you're returning, very welcome back. Hi. Welcome to my bed. Okay, that didn't sound good. Pretend I didn't say that. I'm just relaxing and I thought I would do a quick video. We're hoping it's quick anyways. We will see. I have my trusty phone here. And as the title says, I'm going to talk about the 10 books that I wish I could read for the first time again. So I've seen this on multiple channels. I'm just going through my Samsung folders to find the right one that has that list. Booktube videos. There we go. Okay. I've got it. So, I'm going to move the camera again. I'm so sorry. I know you guys probably get sick of me moving my camera all the time, but I can never get comfy whenever I'm doing videos. Okay. Anyways, so there are 10 books that have, let's put this like this, that have impacted me so much and made me, have the feelings that I wish I could read those books for the first time again. So that's what this list is. Number one, and they're in random order. They're not like in any order, except the number one is probably my number one for good. So we're just going to start with that one. And that is Anne of Green Gables by Ella Montgomery. Are you shocked? You shouldn't be. If you watch my channel, you know that that's my favorite book of all time. My clothes are all wrinkly. I'm so sorry. That is my favorite book of all time. It is Ella Montgomery is my favorite author. I grew up watching the Megan Follows movies with, the Anne of Green Gables movies with Megan Follows. There we go. Whenever I read Anne, I see Megan and hear Megan in my face. And yes, it's pronounced Megan, just so you know. Most people say Megan, but she does correct anybody that says Megan to change it to Megan. And whenever I see any movie with Megan in it, I see Anne. That's it. And Anne of Green Gables I'm talking about the movie right now, but the movie is what got me through life. It got me through a very hard time in my life. It still gets me through life. I still think about it often, and I've been looking for it streaming, but I can never find it anywhere to stream. But I'm loving. I have really good memories of watching the movies. Now there are 3 movies. There's the first one, and then there's the sequel, and then there's the one I forget what it's called. Something about time or something. It's the one where she goes to war or reports on war or something like that. It's not my favorite, but the series, which is up there, I should have brought it down, but you will see the pictures because I don't feel like getting all the books. Maybe I should. Yeah, hang on. I'm going to get the books. Hang on one sec. Okay, so I'm sorry there's been a change of position or lighting. So, I put these way over here. Hang on. Why did I put them way over there? Hang on one second. All these are out of order now. Oh my goodness. Okay. Hang on 1 minute. I'm so sorry. Okay, I think I'm finally ready. So, we have Anne of Green Gables. This, if you don't know, is a classic series. It is written by Lucy Maud Montgomery. And I do have, I'm out of breath. I do have the annotated edition as well, the big one. It's up there. I didn't feel like getting it. It's on the top shelf. But I have just the paperback. I do want to get the pretty versions of these. I want to get the ones, I'll put the picture up here. I forget who publishes them. It might be Puffin. I'm not sure. There's a few different kinds I want, but there's ones with illustrated editions that I really want. But we have that one. We have, okay, that's not the second one. Where's the second one? That's 3. I love that they have the numbers on it, which I'm very happy. Then we have I'm just going for the whole series as my favorite, okay? Some of these, I just put the series name because the whole series is my favorite. So there's Anne of Avonlea. See, now don't you see, Megan, when you see this? I just do. If you haven't seen them, I really recommend you watch the Megan Follow ones. Jonathan, I always forget his last name. He was like, I had such a crush on him. He was like he was Gilbert. I loved him. He passed away, unfortunately, from a tumor, I believe, in his brain. I'm not sure. Very sad, but anyways, number 3, I'm just going to put them on my floor. Number 4, Anne of Windy Poplars. Number 5 is... Did I say Anne of Green Gables yet? I think I showed you the wrong one. I did. How many of you are yelling at me? This is Anne of Green Gables. This is Anne of Ingleside, which is number 6. How many of you are yelling at me right now? I'm so sorry. Anne of Green Gables. They're both green, okay? I thought, okay. Anyways. And number 5 is... No, I did number 5. I am so lost. Number 7 is Rainbow Valley. And number 8... To be honest, I have not read this one, but I know I will love it. I just don't want the series to end. This is Real Love Ingleside, which is about Anne's daughters. So, you're asking me, what is Anne of Green Gables? I got the right one this time. About. So, this was written in 1912, 08, something like that. 1908 was the original, not this copy, but... The original book was published in 1908, and this takes place in Prince Edward Island in Canada. The descriptions of nature is one of Ellen Montgomery's is what she's known for. The beautiful descriptions of Nova Scotia and Prince Edward Island are just beautiful here. And this is about a little girl named Anne Shirley, and she is, I believe, 11 or 12 at the time. She's grown up in orphanages, and she gets sent to this house where this older senior's brother and sister, Marilla Cuthbert and Matthew Cuthbert, want to adopt a boy. And so they send notice to get a boy from an orphanage. Anne comes instead of the boy, and Marilla and Matthew, well, Marilla's kind of nervous. She doesn't really want to raise a girl. And it's just a beautiful story of friendship, of love. She has a best friend named Diana, who I absolutely love. She has her first romantic relationship in this book. There's a lot of funny scenes, a lot of hilarious scenes. The love between Marilla and Matthew and Anne is just beautiful. It starts off rough, but it's just gorgeous, and I love Matthew. Matthew, oh my gosh, he's such a great guy, and I love the way he treats Anne right from the start, you know. And Anne is a very talkative, very imaginative girl. She has a big imagination. And Matthew just kind of takes it, just kind of falls for her, kind of like just loves her to bits. Of course, Matthew is the father figure, but I don't mean fall for her in that way. I just mean that he just sees right away this is a girl who needs parents and needs someone to show her what love from parents are. And it's so beautiful. And the friendship and love between Marilla and Anne is gorgeous too. And it's just such a good book. I kind of want to reread it now. I'm thinking of maybe rereading this series next year. I was planning on reading this series again this year with Chantel Reads All Day. That's her channel name. She did an Ellen Montgomery read-along. I didn't take part in any of it. I wish I did, but I didn't. Okay, where'd my phone go? So we've been talking for 10 minutes already. We've only gone through one series. Oh my gosh, this is going to be a long video. Number 2. Okay, so I have one book listed here that I have switched, and this is the one that I've switched it to. Everything is Okay. This book is by Debbie Tung, and let me tell you, when I first read it, I cried so hard. But it was a very healing cry. So this book is an illustrated book, a graphic novel, you might say. It is a memoir of Debbie Tung and how she dealt with finding out that she has anxiety and panic disorder. And it spoke to me so much. I kind of want to reread this too now. It is so good. Very real, very funny at some parts, but very realistic. And I just felt seen when I read this, and I binged all of her books. I don't know if she has any new ones out, but I binged all of her books. This is the only one I own. But yeah, I would love to have the experience, even though it hurt to read it, because I don't like seeing people go through what I went through, because it's hard for me to know that other people go through it. But at the same time, I didn't feel alone. I felt like there are other people who do go through this with me. And she doesn't say like everything is perfect, things are going to be perfect from now on, now that I've got help. No, she says everything is okay, everything will be okay. I'm going to have my bad days, but everything is okay. And I love that, and I love how she gets counseling in this. And oh my goodness, this is so good. So good. Recommend if you have anxiety or panic. She has other books. She has one about books, about reading and books, and about how her husband loves her, even though she's like always talking about books. It's just such a good book. I think it's called Book Lover. I'm not sure. And then she does have another one out. Hang on, let me see if I can see what the other... I haven't read them in quite a while. If they're here. Oh, okay, it's anxiety and depression that she deals with. It's not panic. Okay. To me, anxiety and panic disorder kind of are the same thing, because I have both of them and I never know which is which, but specifically anxiety and depression it deals with. Okay. Here we go. Quiet Girl in a Noisy World deals with introverts. Book Love is the one where she talks about books. And Happily Ever After and Everything in Between is the story of how how when she first got married and newlywed life kind of thing. And I love that too. Very good books. They're all graphic novels as well. She does the drawing and everything. Number 3, I don't have the book anymore. I think I put it in a little free library recently. But it is The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides. Michaelides, however you want to pronounce it. This book shocked me to the core. I loved it. I know some people say the twist is obvious. I did not see it coming, and I thought it was just so good. I haven't liked any other books by him, really. But the first book I really liked, The Silent Patient. He does in the same world, so his characters meet the characters from the other books. You don't necessarily have to read the other books, but they're mentioned in them. And I did read The Fury and didn't really enjoy it. And I started The Maidens. I'm so sorry. I started The Maidens, but I never finished it. I just found it boring. But The Silent Patient was a hit. And I will continue to try and read his books. And I have no problem DNFing. I just DNF'd a book today, so I have no problem DNFing if I just don't enjoy it. But The Silent Patient is about a man who, a psychologist, who is working at a mental health unit type thing, a mental health hospital. And there's this woman there who years before had killed someone. And hang on one second. Okay, sorry about that. One of my roommates had a TV or something on, or their phone. So she had killed her husband years ago, and she hasn't spoken since. And so they sent her to a mental health hospital because she's quote unquote crazy. And the psychologist comes to work with her and find out once and for all what happened. And it is very thrilling. It's very good. Really enjoyed it. It deals with mental health, but it also deals with people aren't as crazy, quote unquote, as people think they are when they go to mental health units or mental health hospitals. And I liked that. I liked that representation. I liked that what happened in the end is what happens. I don't want to spoil it. I'm just saying the representation of mental health is done a smidge better than most thrillers do with mental health, in my opinion. A lot of times thrillers, I'm getting on a soapbox, but a lot of times I find thrillers use mental health as a plot twist, as a excuse, not an excuse, as the reason why someone did something bad. And I just don't like that representation because I do suffer from mental illness. I have quite a few mental illnesses, and that not everyone is quote unquote crazy when they have mental illness. It's something wrong with their brain. It's a medical issue. It's not because they're crazy. You know what I mean? And it's just, I was called crazy and stupid all my life, and I believed it for many, many years. And it just, the last 10 years or so is when I started realizing, you know what? I am smart. I do have a good life. I'm not crazy. I just have a problem with my brain, just like other people may have a missing limb or something. I have something missing in my brain, and that's it. That's the only difference. Anyways, I really enjoyed this thriller. I thought it was really good. I'm going to have to reread it and see if that still stands true to what I believe mental health rep is or should be. But as far as I can remember, I liked it. Okay, number 4, Redeeming Love by Francine Rivers. This was a Christian fiction book. I read this when I was about 19 or 20 years old, and I still think about it to this day. This book is it's a retelling of Hosea, the story of Hosea in the Bible, and it's about this man named Michael Hosea who comes across not in the olden days, in history. Like, I don't remember when it takes place. Probably I don't remember. I'm not going to say time period. I don't remember when it takes place, but in the years before, like history. And he comes across a brothel and sees a woman being beaten, and God kind of tells him in his heart that he needs to marry this woman. And he's like, what? I can't marry a prostitute, you know? And then there's the side of Angel. She is the prostitute, and she grew up in a home where she didn't know love, and she was used a lot, and she becomes a prostitute in a brothel when she gets older. And the day she got beat up, she doesn't remember much about it. She just remembers this man taking her and saying, this is going to be my wife, you know, unhand her, you know, that kind of thing. I can't remember what he said, but, and she agrees to marry him, and then she thinks that, you know, now that we're married, he's going to want my body and everything, and beauty's the only thing I have for me, so that's obviously what he'll want. But Michael is very respectful. He doesn't push her into anything. He just shows her God's love, and it was just such a beautiful story. Angel goes through so much healing and so much trauma, remembering her trauma in her life, and talking about the trauma to Michael and trusting Michael, and then Michael and her slowly falling in love. It was just trusting God the whole way. It was just such a beautiful book. Just to let you know, though, because there is aspects of prostitution, talk about, this was written in the 90s, I believe, so there is talk, a lot of talk about um, image, like body image, so just so you know about that. There is talk about prostitution, there is talk about what is expected in a marriage, there's abuse on page, so just so you know, there is tough topics in this book, but it's so beautifully written, and the ultimate healing God can give you and the peace he can give you if you just trust him, it's a beautiful book. And again, I want to reread it. And I say that I want to reread it for the first time because when I first read it, it meant so much to me. So much. And I remember talking to it about it with my mom who had read it. And it was so beautiful. Talking to my mom about it was an amazing time. It was probably the first adult book that I talked to her about and had a discussion with her about, and it was so good. I remember that conversation with her like it was yesterday, and it was literally like 20, 30 years ago or so, almost 30 years ago. And it's a memory I treasure now that she's gone, and that book just meant so much to me. Again, check the trigger warnings. And again, it was written in the 90s. I believe it was the 90s. So there is a little bit of what we would call problematic things in the book now. But it's not like, I wouldn't call it problematic, but some people might, is what I'm saying, okay? So just so you know, it is Christian. It does talk about God a lot. There's a lot of Bible verses in it. Just so you know, I would recommend it for anybody who just wants to learn about God's love and about the peace he can give you even through trauma. Okay, the next book I want to recommend is another Christian fiction. I promise this whole list isn't Christian fiction. This is the second and only Christian fiction, but this one is The Forgiving Hour by Robin Lee Hatcher. This book is about a woman who is divorced. She divorced her husband years before when her son was young. And she's excited in the beginning because her son is bringing home his fiance. And when he brings her in and introduces her, she realizes she knows this fiance. And it does say this in the back of the book, so it's not a spoiler, but this fiance is actually the woman who her husband had an affair with back in the day. So, yeah. This book is, again, it's a Christian fiction. It's all about forgiveness. It's all about moving on. It's all about how do I tell my son, my grown son, that he is marrying the woman that broke up his parents' marriage. Not that it was all her fault, but you know what I mean. It was a beautiful book. Beautiful book. I cried quite a few times reading it. It was such, I think that's the only Robin Lee Hatcher book I've ever read, although I do want to read more. And I did have that book out. It's actually the third book in a quartet, I believe, but they're about different people, so you don't have to read them in order or anything. And I do want to read the other books on quartet, and they are on Kindle Unlimited, so just so you know, you can check that out there. It's the only Robin Lee Hatcher book I've ever read, and it broke me. It was so good. Yeah, so good about forgiveness, about love of a parent, the love of a husband and a wife, just forgiveness and all it's about. Okay, number 6, a totally different kind of series, and for some reason, I don't have the first book here. Where's the first book? I'm not sure. Hang on. Totally different from the Christian fiction books. And if you know, I'm going to say the Throne of Glass series. Throne of Glass is missing. It is over there somewhere. Throne of Glass. So this series is, I read it this year and last year. Last year and this year. There we go. And for the first time. And I loved it. This is definitely not a Christian series. But it's very good. It is, I gotta put it down. So the first book is Throne of Glass, and it follows Celaena Sardothien, and she is an assassin. And she is in a slave kind of yard thing, and a prison basically, but it's for slaves. And someone comes and says, look, I am the prince and of this world, and if you come with me and be my what was the word he used? If you compete in this competition and be the king's assassin, I will give you freedom. So she's like, okay, I'm going to die here, so I might as well try. So she goes to this competition at the king's castle to be the king's, it's not called assassin, it's like the king's something. Anyways, and the whole series starts off from there. There is romance. There is fae. It's a fantasy series. It's a romantasy. There's fae. There's shape-shifting. There's quite a few swear words. No, I'm not sure if there are swear words in this series. I'm assuming there are, but I don't remember. And then there are quite a few spicy, not quite a few, there's a few spicy scenes. I'm reading Court of Thorns and Roses right now, that series by Sarah J. Maas, and that has a lot more spicy time and swear words. So I'm getting it mixed up in my head. But Throne of Glass was very good. It has a lot of violence, a lot of chopping off heads and stuff like that, but it was so good. I enjoyed reading it so much, and I don't know why, because you would think I wouldn't enjoy that, but I did. And the ending of it in Kingdom of Ash was chef's kiss. So perfect. Okay, the next book is, I'm going to say another L.M. Montgomery book. It is The Blue Castle, which I don't own, but I really want to own. This book follows, not Vivian. Is it Vivian? Viola? Starts with a V. I don't remember, but she is living. It's an adult book. It's really, I believe, the only adult book that Ella Montgomery wrote, if I remember correctly. Maybe not. Might be just the first one she wrote that was adult. But it's about a woman who, I'm trying to think of her name, but I can't think of it, who has lived in a home where she's in her early 30s, I believe, late 20s, so she's considered a, what did they call them? You know, what I am. I'm not married, so, I can't think of the word, but you know what I mean. Maiden, not a maiden, I can't think of the right word. Anyways, she is not married and is thought that she would never get married because everybody thinks of her as plain and strange and all that. And she finds out, this is in the back of the book, so it's not a spoiler, but she finds out that she's dying. So she decides, well, I only have a year to live, so I am going to live the best life I can live. I'm going to do everything that I've never done. Basically, her bucket list. So she moves out and moves in with her friend who is looking after her dad. Like this friend's dad. Her dad is other way around. Her dad is looking after her friend. Her friend is dying. That's what it is. So she comes in to help her, and there's a romance, not with the dad, with someone else, but it's just, I don't even remember much about it, to be honest. I just remember loving it when I read it. There's one scene that lives rent-free in my mind, and it was so good. And basically the romance is with the player in the town, in the small towns. There's rumors going around, and it is hilarious. It is so good. It's just such a good book. I can't recommended enough. Even though I'm not saying much, I realize I'm not saying much about it. It's just so good. The descriptions of nature, again, are superb. Again, it takes place, I believe, in Nova Scotia. I'm not sure. But it was such a good book. You just have to trust it. It's very mundane, day-to-day type book, but it was hilarious. The way she just decides, okay, I'm dying, so I'm going to live life to the fullest. Like, I love that for her, and it was so good. It does not have a sad ending, don't worry. That's all I'm going to say, but there's no sad ending. There's a happy ever after, but it was so good. Okay. Next we have the Donna Andrews books. This is my favorite cozy mystery series. So I have a few of them that I own. This is Terms of Endearment. Round Up the Usual Peacocks. These are not in order, by the way. They're just books that I got. Murder Most Foul. And Murder, She Wrote, which I'm a big fan of Murder, She Wrote, so I love that. Dashing Through the Snowbirds. The Falcon Always Wings Twice. Can you see a theme of her books? And I'll Be Home for Christmas. This series, I'm just gonna hold this one, is the Meg Langslow series. And you know what? I'm not gonna hold a Christmas one up. It just feels wrong to hold a Christmas one up. That one takes place in winter. Where's one that takes place in summer? I'm not sure if that takes place in summer. Hang on, let me think. This one, I believe, takes place in summer. We're just going to say that because I'm in summer right now. Donna Andrews writes a series called the Meg Langslow series, and it is a cozy mystery series. And the first book I read of this series was, I believe, what was it called? The Good, the Bad, and the Emus by Donna Andrews, of course. Put the picture up here. It was the first book I read of this series. I read it back probably about 5 years ago. And I am hooked on this series. I'm so excited for the newest one coming out soon. I put a request in for the e-arc, which I'm very excited about. Anyways, this series follows Meg Langslow. She has a big, quirky family, and you learn to love her family. It is so good. I read these out of order. The first book is something about peacocks. It's not Round Up the Usual Peacocks. It's a different one. Murder with Peacocks is the first book in the series. And it follows Meg Langslow, and in the first book, you learn about her family. So there's a lot of people introduced in the first book, but stay with it because it is so good. The series is so good. You learn to love everybody in her family. And she solves crimes. And her dad is a doctor. I can't really say that. There's someone who comes into her life that is a horticulture bird doctor, bird scientist, and that's why they're all called something to do with birds. There's a lot of animals in these books, which I love, and it's just, she solves murders. She just stumbles across murders, and I love this series. It is hilarious. I laugh every time I read them. The audiobook I highly recommend. I think the narrator is Bernadette Dunn, but I'm not sure. But oh my gosh, these audiobooks are so good. And yeah, they're so good. I love them. Cozy mysteries. There are no graphic murder scenes. There are a couple OMG moments, things like that. A couple D words once in a while, but nothing beyond that. And there are no spicy scenes. Very good. I enjoy them. Okay, we just lost this. Okay. And number 9 is Yours Truly. Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. This book, oh my goodness, is the first book I read by Abby Jimenez. She is a romance author. Secular romance author, not Christian. And I cried so hard in this book. This was another healing type book for me. It is about a woman who is a nurse. I've read so many of her books now, I forget which one this is. Okay, this one is when she works in a hospital and wants to be a new, yeah, I'm getting it mixed up. She wants to be the new head guy in the hospital is kind of a douchebag. He's kind of mean and nobody likes him, and he says something to her and she's like, okay, you're kind of a jerk. She gets hurt by it. She had just been broken up with her husband or fiance, something like that, and she's having a hard time. And this doctor is a great guy, but he has anxiety, severe anxiety. And he writes her a note and says, hey, I'm sorry about the way I treated you. I have social anxiety. I don't know how to talk to people. I'm really sorry. So they start talking through notes, and then they end up getting together and falling in love. And it was so good. It talks about spousal abuse, but not just physical abuse, but mental abuse. It talks about anxiety and how to deal with that. The way the main character deals with this guy's anxiety is so well done. Like, I wish men would treat me that way, because she's so respectful and loving towards them. And it's just a beautiful book. There is a couple spicy scenes, and there is one part of the book that was triggering to me, but I'm not going to name what it is just because it is kind of a spoiler. But if you want to read it, please check the trigger warnings on any Abby Jimenez books, because she writes great romances, but she deals with real life issues in her books. So just, if you're going to read an Abby Jimenez book, please do yourself a favor. Check trigger warnings if you need to. Okay, just to let you know, there are reviews on Goodreads that give spoiler and non-spoiler reviews where they list the trigger warnings. So if it's spoiler, the content will most likely be hidden. You have to click on it to get the spoiler review. Sometimes people spoil it not meaning to, and they post it, and I don't like it when they do that, but just so you know, if you don't click on the show reveal spoiler part, you most likely won't be spoiled. Just so you know. And the last book, again, it's a theme of making me cry, because this last book is a book that made me sob uncontrollably, and it is The Woman with the Blue Star by Pam Jenoff. This is a historical fiction. Was not the first Pam Jenoff book I read, but I don't remember which one was my first one, and this is the one I still think of quite often. So I'm going to put this one on, but really any Pam Jenoff book. I've read 3 or 4 of them. This is a historical fiction about World War II and 2 young girls. One girl is a Jewish girl, and she is hiding. I'm going to start crying. She's hiding with her family in the sewers. Yes, the sewers, as did really happen in Germany. During this time, there were Jewish people who hid in sewers, and it part of it is in her point of view, and then the other part is in this girl who is not Jewish, and she sees the other little girl through the little rain thingy. I forget what they're called. And she becomes friends with her. And so it's the dynamic between these 2 girls and how they become friends despite the differences, despite everything going on with the war. It is very sad. It is very good. It's very well written. There's romance in it. The plot twist at the end really got to me. Not the epilogue, but the end of the main story. Because this does take place in 2 timelines. In the beginning, we have an older woman who is going to meet someone for coffee, and she's thinking back. And then we have the past timeline for most of the book. And then at the epilogue or very end of the book, there's the meeting between the two women in present day. And for the past history, the historic part, the ending was very sad. Again, check trigger warnings if wartime talk or character death triggers you. Of course, I'm not going to say who dies, but there is a character death in there that really affected me. It was very well done, very respectful to people who suffered during World War II. Very important book, very sad book to read if you, yeah. I did not know that. I mean, I feel like I learned things about World War II every day that I didn't know, and it's very sad that people were treated this way. Just breaks your heart, you know? But, yeah, it was a really good book. Really, the ending, like the epilogue part, was very beautiful, very bittersweet, very, I loved how it ended in the present day as well. It was very good. I would recommend any Pam Danoff book that I've only read. I've read the Orphan's Tale, I think it's called. The other one I read was, I can't remember. I'll put the pictures up here of the ones I've read. But they are all to do with World War II, and they were just beautiful. And if I could give an honorable mention as well, I would say The Nightingale. I don't know why it's not on here. The Nightingale by Kristin Hannah. Again, a World War II story, and it was just beautiful. I read this. I do have that book, too. Anyways, I'll put the picture up here because I just don't feel like going to get it. But The Nightingale by Kristin Hannah was a very beautiful book about two grown sisters. One is 18, the other is in her 20s. And it's during World War II, and it's in France. And one of the girls decides she wants to fight the Nazis and do everything she can to help the world, while the other sister is just trying to make it by and raise her daughter. And it's their stories. And again, there is a character death that hit me hard. Very good story. Again, very sad, so check your trigger warnings. But yeah, okay, ending on a sad note. I'm so sorry on that. Yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. It's a very long video. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. These are the 11 books that I would love to read for the first time again. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great day. Read some good books. Let me know if there are any books that you would like to read for the first time again. Have a great day. Bye, guys.